In all my years of doing product reviews of distance measuring devices, I've never encountered anything quite like the Mileseey Genie Pro G1. We're going to talk about it, why it's unique, and whether it being unique turns out to be a good or a bad thing. I'm Ryan Ballengee with Golf News Net. Thanks for checking out the channel once again. I've kind of been struggling to think of how I want to do a review about this product. And so I kind of want to break it down in three sections. I want to talk to you about what this product is, first of all, how it kind of breaks down into its component parts, being a hybrid unit, how it works as a GPS, and how it works as a laser, and then wrap everything up into one kind of final review of, do we need this product? Is it useful? And does it do what it sets out to do? So first, let's talk about what this is. This is the Mileseey Genie Pro G1 hybrid distance measuring device. So it is a GPS and a laser rangefinder within one. But what also makes this unique is that I'd never heard of this company until I was approached by them to do a review. And I think if you look at other equipment leading websites, so the likes of My Golf Spy, they weren't aware of these folks either. And I think that typically sets off some alarm bells, wondering where these guys came from and whether they're still going to be around in a few years. This is also by far the most advanced thing that they have put out to date. The other distant measuring devices that they have released are a little bit more on the basic side, kind of like a tech, which makes distance measuring devices at reasonable prices. And this is a $500 product, a GPS and a laser rangefinder together. I think if you went to go find these two products separately, if you went to go find a pretty decent laser and a pretty decent GPS product, and we'll just for the sake of argument say one that has a touchscreen because this one does, and we'll get into that, I think you would pay less money. But to have them together, is it worth it? So before we have that conversation at the end, let's talk about the entire unit as a whole, break it down into the GPS component and the laser component, and then evaluate whether we need this hybrid component all together in a single function. So let's kind of talk about the whole thing. First of all, let's talk about the body, how this charges, and the kind of particulars that apply to both products themselves. So first of all, this is a good weight. It's a good size unit. It's not a smaller one. It fits easily in my hand. It looks sleek. It has solid casing. It doesn't feel flimsy in any way. It's a solid looking product. It has a 2.1 inch AMOLED screen. We're going to get to that and we talk about the GPS side of things. Obviously, that's something you have to take care of, right? You can't just throw this thing all over the place like I often sometimes find myself doing with just a cheaper laser, right? Just kind of chuck it on the ground. It'll be fine. You can't really do that with it. You can't just kind of have this be out and about. You kind of have to take care of it or otherwise you're going to crack your screen and you don't want to do that just like you don't want to do that to your phone. So that's something to be aware of. It has 6.7x optical zoom. We'll get to that on the laser rangefinder side of things. We got 3 buttons up top. We got a measurement. We've got mode. And we're going to talk about triangulation mode, which is also one of the buttons up here as well. Down here, we've got our slope function, turning on and turning off. It's a unique thing in that it's kind of a wheel that you move. So now the slope is off. And when you bring the wheel back, the slope is on. Okay. It also charges via USB. So this is a non-battery unit. And it's very easy to charge. It uses a USB-C, so we don't have mini USBs or USB-As anymore. Those are long gone. Comes with a cord. It's easy to charge. If you are using this just purely as a laser, you're going to get a whole heck of a lot of use out of it. They say this is a 24-hour battery charge, so that means 24 hours worth of use. So if you just use this predominantly for the laser functionality, you're going to get quite a bit of usefulness out of that single charge, probably 30 or 40 rounds. If you use this more for the GPS or use it really much at all over the course of playing, you're going to find that battery life's a little different. But charging is not too horrible. It's pretty easy to do. Everyone charges stuff with USB-C these days, so that's okay. So all the particulars out of the way about how it looks. One big miss on this thing is that there's not a magnet. There's no magnet on the side. You can't just kind of put it onto the bars of your golf cart if you are a golf cart user. That is unfortunate because one of the better functions of this is triangulation, right? So you can measure from your cart to shoot to a target and then get the distance to another target and make it all work out. It does the math for you, does the geometry for you. So you don't have to know trig to get that done, right? But if you've got to have this stored in a safe place, either in the cup holder of your cart, or you've got to have a separate bag for it because you don't want it in that kind of bigger compartment of your cart because it could just slide around everywhere and scratch the screen and make it look bad. Not having a magnet here is a miss. That said, let's talk about the laser functionality because I think that is the greatest part of this as a laser guy. I prefer to use lasers. I play the same course a lot of the time, or same courses a lot of the time. I kind of know what to expect, and I don't mind having to kind of create a different way of measuring certain blocked targets, right? If there's a tree in front of me, I'll crouch or I'll move to the side and then just kind of add a couple of yards to figure that out. But this is a really nice, like unto itself, this is a very good laser rangefinder. It has a red display in the sight. So I really like that. I've always liked that about Bushnell and other units that do it. Having that red just appeals to my eye better than black on the viewfinder. It's easier to see things. It has the jolt vibrating when you lock onto a target like a flag stick or a flag. That's really handy. And I will say that this is a very fast reading laser rangefinder. You shoot it, it comes back, it gives you quicker results. You can see it, you can feel it. That's not to say that the speed of light has changed, right? It's still a laser at the end of the day. It bounces off something and it comes back. There's nothing different to that, but it gets the reading to you just a little bit quicker than some other units. And maybe that's better compute. Maybe that's just whatever's on board here. That's fine. That's great. I like that a lot. So one knock I have on the unit is in this slider function we talked about earlier to turn on and turn off slope. So it does have a tendency to just kind of slide on its own. Either just kind of rubs up against the case that's provided, which is a good case, but hey, I mean, just it moves. Like it's not hard to move. And also sometimes it might do that in your hand. So all of a sudden you can look through the viewfinder and you're not getting the slope. Or you are getting the slope and you're playing in a tournament and you're worried. So I don't like that. I've never had an issue with any laser rangefinder that's had like a button that you push up or down here, but especially never had an issue with one that just kind of clips on and off here. It's just way easier that way. It's more reliable. I don't have to worry about it. It looks cool. Don't get me wrong. It does look cool. And it does very easily indicate to people whether you have slope on or off from a tournament perspective. However, I think that's a swing and a miss. I do love the triangulation function. It works great. It's easy to set up in its own mode. You press a button. Now you're in triangulation. You shoot object A. You shoot object B. It tells you the distance between the two, and it'll even show you it on this display, which is kind of a blurring of the lines between the GPS and the laser rangefinder. That function is great. I've only ever seen a couple of other laser units, the Cube being one of them. And the Cube did it well too. I thought that was cool. That was a great thing. Is it particularly useful? Yeah, it can be, especially if you're a kart player and you play a lot of kart-only golf courses, and that does tend to happen places. And you kind of want to pull out some clubs from your cart and you have to walk all the way across the fairway. Well, you can do the triangulation function, and then you can know exactly what your distance is, and then you can pick maybe one club or two clubs instead of having to take like half your bag over there to figure that out. That is a good thing. I walk a lot. I almost exclusively walk unless I'm playing in like a charity event or something like that. So I don't really benefit as much from that. Like I said earlier, I have no problem walking around an object that's in the way or crouching under to hit the target that I need to hit with the laser. That's okay. So while it is really cool and I do like it, the utility of it isn't quite there for me, but it may be for you. So I don't want to knock that entirely. All right, so let's put all that aside, right? The laser functionality, and then let's talk about the GPS. The GPS is really good. It's a great unit. Having a 2-inch touchscreen is awesome. I mean, it's basically like putting a watch on your hand, except you don't have to wear the watch. And I know that bothers some people, me included. So being able to have that on its own screen is a nice thing. The utility of using that, again, without a magnet. Again, if you're a kart person and you had the magnet, you could look at the screen and touch it and play with it and figure out things instead of having to grab it every time, pull it up, and do stuff with it. I think that's a swing and a miss there. I understand why it probably is not a magnet in here, because probably all of the housing, everything that's housed in here probably does not play nicely with a magnet. It works probably way easier with a laser and a laser only. So there's your trade-off. That said, the functionality in here is really cool. It'll give you barometric pressure readings. It'll give you humidity. It'll factor those things in with its onboard metrics into recommendations about distances along with slope. It'll give you a map of the hole so then you can kind of use your finger and figure out points that you want to hit to. You can see how far it is to a hazard. It'll kind of give you the waves, the rings, half circles, so then you can kind of know going down the entire hole, hey, here's where I need to hit to get here. Here's what the front number is. You can see front, middle, and back. If you know where the flag is, maybe you can use your finger to kind of position that pin more directly, more precisely, give yourself a good idea of what to expect. When you take a measurement using the laser, it will show it on the display. So for whatever reason you kind of forget it, you can just look right back at it. That's nice. Same thing with the triangulation function I mentioned. That's great. So all of those things are very helpful. It comes with 43,000 preloaded courses. I didn't even know there's still 43,000 courses in the world, but they preloaded them, whatever ones there are. It gets the GPS function quickly. It figures out where you are quickly, and you can start playing quickly. You can also track your game using their Mileseey app. That seems to be not so great, and I don't really use that. I don't really have any interest in that. I use ShotScope for that type of stuff, so I don't need another app to throw my statistics in. Or if I just keep it in my head, again, I don't need that type of stuff. But for people who don't have that function and want to try it, hey, that's something for you. I would say it's not the best, but that's okay. What this does, it does very well. Again, I said the laser is very good. The GPS is also very good. It does some awesome stuff, and it works quickly. The full color stuff is awesome. You can use your touchscreen functionality just like your phone, obviously on a smaller screen. It's a good product. Both components are very good. So let's bring it all together. Is this worth $500 to have these two things that are unto themselves very good smushed together in a single product? I guess that's up to you. And I say that because, again, I'm a walker. I play the same courses over and over again. I know what to expect, and the reason I would ever use a GPS is because I want to know what the hole looks like, what's in front of me, and to more or less have an idea of what's coming up next, and maybe an idea of how deep the green is, those types of things. I still can figure out all of that stuff with a laser. And if I'm riding in a cart that day at a place I'm not playing, again, charity event, guest outing, whatever, I probably am playing a place that has a GPS in the cart, so I can do that functionality on the cart screen. Is that the utility that I need then to have both of these things in one? For me, not really. I love that this is a great laser. And if they just put this out as a laser and there was no screen, and yeah, I could have maybe the barometric pressure and humidity readings, that would be incredible. That would be like a $300 or $350 product, and I would tell you to go get it today with the triangulation, with the speed, with the onboard weather measurement stuff. It would be a total winner. Absolutely great. But tacking on $150 to it for a GPS that I'm really not going to use, even though it is good, I don't think it's worth the value. I think if you made these two separate products, one $300 or $350 and another $150 or $200, you would have two incredible products. And I would almost rather tell you to go buy two separate products than one together, because it just doesn't quite work as one single product. It's not bad in any way. And if you want the benefits of both together, you've got a winner here. This is a great thing. But for how I play golf and the situations I play golf, I'm not sure the utility of that. That all said, Mileseey makes a nice product. Kudos to them for doing it. They got their stuff done through Kickstarter. They got this thing out to the marketplace. It has generated a lot of attention. And I think they have established themselves as a unique and interesting creator of products in the distance measurement space, and I think that is hard to do these days. So kudos to them regardless of what I think about the utility of the unit for me and how I play. What they produced is good, it's useful, it's reliable, and I think they're going to come out with more interesting products in the future as well. Please let me know what you're gaming. I'm interested to know whether you're a GPS person or a laser person. Always happy to hear from you. Leave me a comment. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks so much for watching this longer review, which is a little bit more of an existential discussion about distance measuring devices in golf and the usefulness of all of those things. but this is a topic that was really interesting to me, and hopefully you found it interesting as well. I'm Ryan Ballengee. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.